through the prayers of Holy Fathers, with Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy on us and save us. Amen. Good evening for those new here. My name is Father Joseph Swaden. I've worked in Orthodox Apologetics since 1998, and I'm the founder of NFTU, True Orthodox and Ecumenical News, since 2004. We've been in the apologetic space on Facebook since 2016 and on YouTube since 2018. And if you appreciate what we do here, please like and subscribe. Today we do our live Q&A session where you can get your questions answered live as well as member-requested video reviews. So let's get started. And as always, if you want to jump on stream to ask a question or make a comment, just click the link in the top of the chat. In the top of the YouTube chat, I'll be taking super chats from the YouTube chat. And if you want your question or comment without super chatting, I'll answer it, but you might miss it if I don't put it up. Just to be clear, also the chat in Odyssey is open. It does have the, at last I checked, the correct link. X chat, strange, I put it up, but I don't know if anyone saw it. But if you can see it, click the link at the top of the chat. It is somewhere there. Okay, so as always, we're going to start with the opening comments, whatever we've got here. And let's take a look what we have. And let me see here. Okay, can't be tall and wide. That's interesting. Well, what if we make that bigger? Let's see. So, we'll start with the comments. Woodchuck says, oh, wait, that's not super chat. I'm out of practice. It's been a week, and I've been sick. So, says, we'll check in tomorrow. Hope you cover the Pope EP stuff. And so, yeah, let's see here. The Pope EP stuff, we are going to actually cover that a little bit. I didn't get a chance to review it. Some shocking features to it. Orthodox Field asks, what happened with the Pope and the EP? The Pope celebrated over at St. Andrew's in Constantinople for the Feast of St. Andrew. And so that was, about a day ago. And so, yep, that is news. And so we're going to cover it. Great Babe says 8555 says, first, how do I access the chat on the screen? Well, you are in the chat on the screen. Let me see here. I'm trying to get it to be tall and wide, but I don't think I can get that. So I guess we're going to go with this for now, and I'll adjust this visual here ever so slightly. Sean says, we going to mass? Well, that's up to you. I mean, if you went to liturgy today, good. If you're talking about the Roman Catholic stuff, we don't do that. But if you're talking about the Western Rite, True Orthodox Mass, then yes, I would approve. Let's take a look here. I've got some, okay. Matthew Menanoia says, I think there's 2 lives going. It's a StreamYard thing. It's producing 2 different streams, one that's mobile first and one that is desktop first. So basically, I hope YouTube is gonna try to send you to try to recommend what you prefer, if you prefer watching on your phone or if you prefer watching on your desktop, etc. Sean says, audio is a little choppy on my end. Is that the case for others? Not aware of it. I don't know. If the audio is choppy, let me know, and we'll see what we can do about it. Maybe I don't know, reset the mic or something. I have no idea. Okay, so let's get started. We've got our basic stuff out of the way. This is a big show. We're making big changes, and so I gotta let you know about these. First off, the number one change: the book is 90% done. Okay, now AR Romano says it's choppy for me too. Okay, so I am not sure why that is. Let me try to see. Hold on. Let me see if I can. All right, I'm going to try to move. I don't think he communes. He stays in the chair of honor. Actually, I don't know. We definitely will review it at Orthodox Field. Okay, so the book is 90% done. The history of true Orthodoxy in the 20th century. Title still to remain withheld for now. It's going. It's moving along, and we're seeing it. I'm gonna switch it back to tall. See if that. Yeah, this is good. So yeah. Hopefully I get this out within the next couple of weeks. That's my goal, so that we can get the book out, and I can, people have been asking for it, so it's time for it to come out. Father Antonio says, good evening. And so Glory to God. Sean says, I'm trolling the world Orthodox and their new Pope. I'm not going to an RC Mass. Fair enough, Sean. Good evening, Father Antonius, and we'll continue. So that's the first big thing. Leonidas, with a member chat. Remember, if you want your chat on the screen and you don't want to do a super chat, you can always become a member on YouTube, and you will get that that ability. And may God bless you, Leonidas, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, so let's take a look here. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that. Well, I mentioned the book, so that part's done. We're going to get to the next thing. You may have noticed on whether it's Gab or Twitter that I basically just said Happy Thanksgiving, see ya, and then disappeared for 4 days. That is because there are no socials till nativity. I decided not to actually write one of those sappy messages where it's like, dear X, I, Father Joseph, am leaving socials for nativity for the sake of my soul. Like, I find those emails so incredibly obnoxious, like those messages. I feel like sometimes people start saying weird stuff in them. Like, there was one guy who was talking about how he had to quit his carnivore diet. And it just like, it becomes like a weird thing. And so my view was very simply, I was going to leave socials to nativity. So I just wrote see ya. I'm answering messages every couple of days. Like I'll check to see if there's messages, but that's it. And that's not a reliable way to reach me, by the way. The reliable way I will get into in a second, but it's definitely not going to be on Facebook, X, or Gab, because there's too much of a time sink. And considering what I'm trying to do with the book, etc. And that's where it's going to be. The focus is on YouTube and the cafe. And to be fair, I will also improve the Odyssey section of it as well, because that is something that I've been wanting to do, and it looks like they've created some new features that'll make it a little easier to do. I am going to be on the cafe basically daily, trying to improve processes, so on and so forth. There's been some interesting discussions on it. So basically, I'm going to be working there. So if you want to reach me and you have a Frosinose Cafe account, you can reach me that way. If you are not signed into the cafe, I will be very vigorously searching for new logins as of tomorrow morning. So I am going to be on that pretty much. That's going to be where I am. And I have some cool stuff in the works that I'm finally getting to with that, I hope. And we'll see how it goes. So that is let me see here. Father Boniface says benedicite, benedicite, Father. And let me see. It kind of reminds me of the Muslims say, hang on, I must go for it. Yeah, and sometimes it's weird. Let's see. I'm gonna get to these. I'm gonna comment here. Let's see. Gabriel Michael says today Pope urged Orthodox and RCs to reunite. Here we go again. And Matthew Metanoia made some comment about Thanksgiving knocking him out of ketosis and rainbows and stuff. Okay. All right. So basically, okay. Let me see here. We do have a member chat, and I'm going to also talk about a little bit of a change of a format after that member chat. So first off, Leonidas, thank you for helping keeping the light on with $5. You've mentioned that the Bulgarian Patriarchate leaving the WCC in 1998 was opportunistic. Why? That was a direct consequence of Georgia leaving the WCC in 1997, which was absolutely opportunistic. If you know what happened in 1997, the United Monasteries in Georgia actually got together and wrote an open letter to the Patriarch saying, if you don't leave the WCC, we're all leaving. You. And so what ended up happening was a large number of monastics left anyway, but because of that threat, Patriarch Ilya, who is, now on his dying days, basically, he said, we're going to pull out of the WCC. Bulgaria followed suit based on that because they didn't want to risk people going over to the True Orthodox, etc. And that is what happened ultimately with Georgia. They stayed out of the WCC, but then many of the monastics left when they realized that the ecumenical program was still going to go. It was just going to go much more quietly. And now, as there are now, full trained seminary graduate priests and even hierarchs who are pro ecumenism, the whole point is that they're waiting on Patriarch Leah to pass on, and they will continue their ecumenical events. With that, I will say that thank you for that super chat, Leonidas, because you are also a member and it's much appreciated. So I'm going to put up the goal, and then I'm going to explain a couple of changes we're going to try to make here. Give me 1 second. 295. Okay, so our current goal as was set to 300, and it is now currently at 295 because we just received that $5 super chat, so we really appreciate that. This is one of those helping keep the lights on kind of weeks. Ultimately, November, the end of November to the beginning of December, this is the holiday season, so people will spend a lot of time working on things to do with their families, etc. And sometimes stuff like this is it's kind of lower in the priorities, and we get that. But we're gonna try because it always gets thin really around now. Let me see here. The stream is in vertical orientation. When did this change happen? The horizontal orientation was great. The horizontal orientation still exists. If you go to our channel, click on live, you will see one that says mobile and one that doesn't say mobile. Just click the one that doesn't say mobile and you can switch. So it's, for some reason, StreamYard and YouTube are promoting basically redundant content that's optimized for different types of visuals. So whatever works for you, no problem, Maria Design. Okay, so now let's get to the last thing that I was talking about here, which is some changes. A pretty big change that we're going to do here. We have gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of, a number of community members who argue that kind of the format of the Q&A is somewhat disconcerting because whenever a super chat comes up or whenever a member chat, etc., it kind of interrupts the flow of the conversation. And last week we saw that to kind of great problematic levels where I kind of was talking about the rabbit hole of what's happening in the Russia-Ukraine war, and then we got into a long discussion on Islam, and then a long discussion on other questions, etc. And what I'm going to try to do from here on in is we're going to try to keep it to 1 or 2 questions, and we're going to try to revisit chats every 15, 20 minutes as I'm talking through something. So if it seems like I'm not answering up to the minute, it's because I'm trying to create a better flow. That said, it is still a live Q&A session, so if you want to jump on stream to ask a question or make a comment, just click the link in the top of the YouTube chat. If you're an X, hopefully that chat's there. If you're an Odyssey, that the pinned post is there as well. So you can do that. And I did note wait time because of the fact that if I'm talking about something, I want to finish it. So you'll kind of have to wait there, but we'll get to you. I think I'm pretty good with judicious use of time. So it is a live Q&A session, so feel free to ask your questions, but there are going to be limitations that we're going to have to work with so that if it becomes a thing where you want to fight me for an hour, I'm going to cut you off in a few minutes. And if you want to stay, you can fight the chat. So in any case, I think that will help kind of keep things in order. I guess so. We have an opening topic in that sense, in that we have the lagging. Okay. I'm not sure why it's lagging. It looks fine to me. Like I usually have like an internet warning thing on like the top of, I guess, my screen here, like right there. That'll tell me if my internet's weak, but it's not. It's not me. Not lagging for me, says Dr. Compromise. So it may just be your connection. But in any case, yeah, let's get started. Let's go look at the big old Pope and Patriarch shindig. Let's get that going. I'm probably gonna speed through and we're gonna look at stuff. Um, not lagging here now on PC. Audio still choppy for me. Okay, hopefully these things get resolved. Usually it takes a few minutes for stuff to kind of appear. If you're on desktop and you want to try on Odyssey, or if you're on X, you want to. It looks like you're all on YouTube. You can. This is live on X and on Odyssey as well. So hopefully it shouldn't be too bad there. But as it stands, we are now going to get to the Pope Leo thing, or the Pope Leo Patriarch thing that happened. We can all watch together. And of course, I will be using the fast forward button judiciously. Okay, so let's just get started. I guess we'll start from here. All right. In the first place, let's take a look. Hold on. I'm gonna. Where's my little guy version? There it is. Okay. So let's get started, and as always, comments welcome. Well, let's go. All right. That hat tells me that is actually Alexandria's patriarch, I think, is in there. So he's there. We're gonna move this to 125. We're gonna. Okay. All right. So where do we put the Pope? Okay. So the Pope is he's kind of in the visiting, kind of the visiting hierarch chair. So he's right there, like in front. And let's continue on. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay, so let's okay, what's this? Oh yes, Kevin Klein says, "Oh yes, the RCs are in a frenzy over two men who don't confess the Orthodox faith reciting the creed together." It's I think that again, this is going to be one of those ecumenical visuals that they're aiming for. The whole, we're going to make it look like it's unity. Somebody mentioned earlier in the chat that the Pope talked about how unity must happen soon. Which I mean, okay. Let's see how bad this goes. All right, let's go. I'm assuming this is just an EP bishop. That's obviously not Bartholomew. He has way too much facial hair. Let's see here. Okay, so this is, first off, this is kind of unprecedented. Usually a lot of these are ecumenical doxologies, but this appears to be an actual liturgy. Okay, and there's the Pope there, and some bishop, and some cardinal, and what are they reading? Not quite sure what's happening here. They've done this before. Nothing shocking. Thank you. With a member chat, he's chanting in Arabic. That's interesting. All right, so let's see what the thing that really shocks me is that they're doing a divine liturgy with him present. But I guess it's just it's a big deal because I guess it's a new pope. Let's. All right. Those who are familiar with Greek, if you want to help me out here. Yeah, the bishop 2 minutes ago. Yeah, that was Alexandria. All right, so let's continue on. So let's see. It seems like Okay. Well, that was a commemoration of the Patriarch of Alexandria who's there. Hold on. So let me see if they've done. I want to see who they've got going on first. Goodwill Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm really confused here because people are telling me my internet's terrible. I don't hear anything odd. There's no chopping on my end. Goodwill Wi-Fi. Orthodox Field says, listen to your interview this morning with the subdeacon from the great country of Ireland. Yeah, that was a really good. That was actually a really good video. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, you should. All right. I'm wondering if there's any big flashpoints I should be looking for. And it's usually these doxologies, but I did not prepare. I'm going to see if I can find, based on basic structure of the liturgy. Wait, what's this? What we got going on here? Does this guy say anything? One thing that's that's what I'm looking. Orthodox Field asks, and this one is a freebie. Does EP commemorate the Pope? I'm not sure. That's what I'm looking for, because this is clearly some sort of mega hierarchical liturgy, and I am trying to find that, which is why I stopped on this thing. Leonidas says on certain feast days, not all the time. With a number chat. Oh, Father Boniface says choppy for me, Al. What is happening? You're not lagging, but the video is lagging. You know what? I'm actually noticing that on Odyssey now. Like, I'm noticing it stops. Maybe. Huh. That is odd. Is this a Gabriel Michael says, is this a St. George in the fun art? Let me see. It does not say where, but it does. I think you might be right if you guessed that. Let me see here. And when he's there, of course. Yeah. Oh, the audio is terrible on my end now. Okay. The Orthodox Field says, get rid of the mobile one. I mean, I can try. I'm not even sure how to do this. Choppy. All right. Like, we're having this problem. This is kind of sad. What I am going to do. All right. I'm going to have to end the YouTube vertical. I don't know how I can do that. Let me see. Okay, can't change it unless I kill the YouTube stream. I mean, ultimately, I'm gonna have to kind of figure out that this shouldn't be happening because it's basically double streaming. It's not something that's done on our end. So I can't understand how like I multi-stream to multiple places, like on X and so on and so forth. This will kill the stream altogether. And your Daily Scroll says, why are you guys so against Catholics and Orthodox having a relationship? I don't get it. Well, in the first place, they're heretics. In the second place, they've taught lots of heresies for hundreds of years. And in the third place, they haven't really repented of any of them. So that would be my answer. It's not so much that we're against anyone having any sort of relationship. It's the nature of the church the church itself can't be united to heresy. It's that simple. So it's not like a personal thing. In the vertical stream, it's clear. On the desktop version, it's choppy. So if I get rid of them, that sounds like, oh, man. All right. What I'm gonna have to do is I am going to, have to, let me see here. I'd love to answer that question, Father, but my audio is bad. I mean, the only thing I can do is, I guess, restart the stream. And that's a problem. Let me see here. Okay. I mean, I don't know that it is the stream, and I feel like, all right. Um, okay. I mean, enough people are complaining about the audio quality. Um, yeah, Gabriel Michael says, what kind of relationship? When the Vatican becomes Orthodox again, they will automatically return to the true church. Could it be having too many tabs open? To be honest, no. I have 5 tabs open. I can try to cut them down, but in reality, there are not many tabs. So it's not my computer. I don't know how to say it. If it was having a problem with streaming, it would tell me, but it's not doing that. So, let me see here. Okay. Well, that's compromise says I think it's listenable overall. Personally, well, I hope so. Um, Not on my end, says Kevin Klein. Okay, so we're gonna, obviously, we're either going to deal with this continuously, or we are going to try to fix it. So I will try to go live again. Give me just a moment, and hopefully I see you all again soon. And I will shut down, I guess, the mobile stream, and hopefully that'll do it. Okay. Be back in a moment.